Good, happy Saturday morning, June 1st, 2019. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, city worker kills 12 in Virginia Beach. Suspect shot dead by police. A long-time city employee opened fire in a municipal building in Virginia Beach, killing 12 people on 3 floors and sending terrified co-workers scrambling for cover before police shot and killed him following a long gun battle, authorities said. New Hampshire businesses, consumers worry about effects of threatened tariffs. Trump says he'll impose tariffs on Mexico imports. Some New Hampshire businesses are worried about the impact of potential new tariffs against Mexico imports President Donald Trump has threatened to impose. Trump on Thursday said he would impose a 5% tariff on all Mexico imports on June 10th unless the country stops the flow of Central American migrants into the United States. Experts said the tariffs could eventually raise the price of a wide range of products, from beer to automobiles, for U.S. consumers. Some New Hampshire businesses have a manufacturing presence in Mexico or rely on exports. Much of the fresh produce in U.S. grocery stores is grown in Mexico. Kevin Daigle of the New Hampshire Groceries Association said low-income consumers would be hardest hit by the proposed tariffs. Trump said he would raise the tariffs to 25% by October if Mexico hasn't stemmed the flow of migrants. Daigle said stores will try to hold off on passing the cost along, aimed slim margins and other tariffs already in place. A local auto dealer told News 9 he's not sure if or how his business would be affected, but Cody Lusk, president of the American International Automobile Dealership Association, said the effects could be damaging. News of the potential tariffs sent stocks tumbling Friday, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average closing down about 355 points, or 1.4%. Mexico's president has sent his foreign secretary to Washington to try to negotiate a solution to prevent the tariffs from being imposed. Colorado's Jared Polis, nation's first gay governor, signs bill banning conversion therapy for minors. Colorado banned gay conversion therapy on Friday as the governor signed a bill one day before he started the LGBT Pride Month. And now let's take a look at some local events happening today in New Hampshire. Ware's Town Yard Sale is taking place in Ware, New Hampshire, beginning at 8 o'clock a.m. at Stone Memorial Building in Ware, New Hampshire. Miles for Smiles 5K Run/Walk, 8 o'clock a.m., Smithbridge, Plymouth, New Hampshire. Union Congregational Church Neighborhood Yard Sale, 8 o'clock a.m. at the Union Congregational Church. Bird Watching Breakfast, 8:30 a.m., home of Dan and Karen Taylor, Francistown, New Hampshire. Smartphone Photography Workshop, 9 o'clock a.m. at the Nickey's S. Loeb School of Communications in Manchester, New Hampshire. New Hampshire Heart Walk, 9 o'clock a.m., Dairyfield Park, Manchester, New Hampshire, and Erin Falo will be the host of that from WMUR. Hoofs Beats 5K, 9 o'clock a.m. at NHTI Concord Community College in Concord, New Hampshire. The 13th annual plant sale to benefit the Manchester Animal Shelter, 9 o'clock a.m. at Manchester Animal Shelter in Manchester, New Hampshire. Fine Arts Faculty Show, 9 o'clock a.m. at St. Paul's School, Crumpackery Gallery in Concord, New Hampshire. June Jubilee, 9 o'clock a.m., Chester Congregational Baptist Church in Chester, New Hampshire. The 53rd Annual Manchester Quans Auction, 9 o'clock a.m., the Webster House in Manchester, New Hampshire. First Annual Moose Mountain Trail Race, 9 o'clock a.m. at Birch Hill Farm in Milton Mills, New Hampshire. Goffstown Rotary Club 6th Annual Car Show, 9 o'clock a.m. in Goffstown, New Hampshire. Church Yard Sale, 9 o'clock a.m. in Salem, New Hampshire at the North Salem United Methodist Church. Free National Learn to Row Day, Amoskegon Rowing Club, 9 o'clock a.m. at the Amoskegon Rowing Club in Hooksett, New Hampshire. Sandown Garden Club 12th Annual Plant Sale, 9 o'clock a.m. in Sandown Fire Station in Sandown, New Hampshire. Multifamily Yard Sale, 9 to 1 p.m. Saturday at Kaheen and Shankry Law Office in Manchester, New Hampshire. Derry Garden Club Annual Plant Sale and Mascom Temple in Derry, New Hampshire. Story time at the Concord Public Library on the Heights branch at 9:30 a.m. in Concord, New Hampshire. Noon Felted Scarf with Melinda, 9:30 a.m. Meredith Community Center in Meredith, New Hampshire. Touch a Truck, 10 o'clock a.m. at West Running Brook School in Derry, New Hampshire. New Hampshire Peace Action Annual Meeting, 10 o'clock a.m. at McCullen Audubon Center in Concord, New Hampshire. Art Icon Painting, 10 o'clock a.m., New England Language Center Art Gallery, Rochester, New Hampshire. Hooksett Garden Club plant sale are public wholesales in Hooksett, New Hampshire, beginning at 10 o'clock a.m. The mall at Rockingham Park hosts first ever Touch a Truck at 10 o'clock a.m. at Mall at Rockingham Park in Salem, New Hampshire. Down to the Sea, 10 o'clock a.m. in Rollinsford, New Hampshire. Millow Awareness Event, 10 o'clock a.m. in Barnstead, New Hampshire. Piscataqua River Fest, 10 o'clock a.m. in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. The Flower Show, 11 o'clock a.m. in Peterborough, New Hampshire. Food Truck for Casa, 11 o'clock a.m. in Hooksett, New Hampshire. Story Time Arthur, Tippy Finds a Home, 11 o'clock a.m. at Gibson Bookstore in Concord, New Hampshire. Charity Softball in Clydesdale, 11 o'clock a.m. at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery in Merrimack, New Hampshire. Storytime Potato Pants at the Bookery in Manchester, New Hampshire at 11:15 a.m. The 35th Annual WOKQ Chowder Festival, 11:30 a.m. at Prescott Park in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Shake and Stir, 12 o'clock p.m. at the Sheraton in Portsmouth Harborside Hotel in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. History of Music and Cocktail in the 19th Century, 12 p.m. at the Sheraton Harborside Hotel in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. STEM on Saturday, 1 p.m., Griffin Free Public Library in Auburn, New Hampshire. Of Her and By Her Music for Piano, 1 p.m. in Claremont, New Hampshire. The Arabians Night, 2 p.m. at the Rochester Opera House in Rochester, New Hampshire. Mako Arts School of Dance presents Beauty and the Beast, 2 p.m. in Keene, New Hampshire. Little Shop of Horrors, 2 p.m. in Concord, New Hampshire at the Hot Bark Theater. Spring Concert and Ice Cream Social, 3 p.m. at the Brookside Congregational Church in Manchester, New Hampshire. Voice from the Heart Spring Concert, time Now That We Thrive, 4 p.m. in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Free concert and free spinning show, 4 p.m. in Belmont, New Hampshire. Sleeping Beauty, 4 p.m. in Dover, New Hampshire. Burger Night, 5 p.m. in Canterbury, New Hampshire. Mescod Marketplace Art Show at 6 p.m. in Dover, New Hampshire. Hammer and Stain Pick Your Project, 6 p.m. in Bedford, New Hampshire. Line Dance, 7 p.m. in Bedford, New Hampshire. Live music with Justin G. Menz at 7 p.m. in Guilford, New Hampshire. We Sing for Joy at 7 p.m. in Concord, New Hampshire. Broadway Piano Cabaret with Robert Dion at 7 p.m. in Manchester, New Hampshire. Adam Zier Group, 7:30 p.m. in Plymouth, New Hampshire. Portland Jazz Orchestra, 7:30 p.m. in Wolfboro, New Hampshire. Voices from the Heart Spring Concert, time Now That We Thrive, 7:30 p.m. in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Live On Mars, a tribute to David Bowie, 8 p.m. in Hampton, New Hampshire at the Hampton Beach Casino Ballroom. Alabro Gruth, 8 p.m. in Derry, New Hampshire. And those are all the events happening around New Hampshire today. And that is it for this edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Saturday, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. And I have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.